Welcome to Vapefog Reviews, Tutorials, and Gear. Today, we're going to talk about sub-ohm coil building and how to get big clouds. What's going on, YouTubers? So a lot of you out there, maybe not the veterans, but some of the newer people getting into vaping, you've probably seen videos on YouTube where people are doing giant clouds and stuff. They call it cloud chasing. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. From time to time, I'll do sub-ohm builds and stuff like that, and I'll chuck some clouds or whatnot. But for the most part, you just give me something like this right here, my Nemesis with my Aspire Nautilus Mini, and I'm good to go. Anyway, if you're curious how they do this, I built this coil earlier. This is my Atomic RDA. I got a ferro wide bore drip tip on top of there. I don't know if you can see that in there. This is a 1 ohm coil I built earlier. It's 5 wraps. And I did that with, believe it or not, 28 gauge Kanthal. I know a lot of people probably think that's crazy. How you supposed to get big clouds with that. I wrapped it around this large screwdriver right around here, and I did 5 wraps, and I currently have this sitting at 24 watts, and I'll give it a fire here. This battery's kind of low, but I'll give it a fire so you can see the production on it. So I mean, as you see, this thing is just like chucking vapor, man. And how do you get the big clouds? Well, you can do these in dual coil. I mean, you can build your coils pretty much however you want, but the lower the resistance, like you hear some people talking about 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. In this case, this is a 1 ohm build. Then you have coils that are, 2 ohm, 3 ohm. The average is about 1.5 to 2.1. Most people vape, I would say most people vape probably in that area. But building these coils is extremely simple. As I said, I wrapped this 5 wraps. I could have went 4 and took it even lower. You know what I mean? And it leaves a pretty wide area in there. I've got quite a bit of cotton in this. It's organic cotton. Let me fire it one more time. You can see the vapor coming off this thing is just ridiculous. And that's a single coil, by the way, in this Atomic RDA. Okay, so once you have your low resistance coil built, okay, you have a sub-ohm coil or whatever, well, the next ingredient you're going to need will be VG. This is 100% VG. This doesn't have any flavoring or anything like that in it, though you could make some up and put some flavoring in it. Usually when you see people blowing big clouds, it's a low resistance coil and 100% VG. Now some of them probably add some flavoring or something like that to it, but VG is actually kind of sweet all on its own. Now normally, say for example, inside this tank here, this is my Aspire Nautilus Mini, I have this juice in it. And that juice is actually 12 milligrams of nicotine, and it's a 60-40 blend, so 60 PG, 40 VG. And you're not going to be chucking clouds and stuff like that with that, not unless you can handle the PG and the nicotine setting fire to your throat. So when people are blowing these big clouds and stuff, they're doing it with a low resistance coil, okay, and 100% VG. Now, when it comes to your cap, okay, you want to set it on the biggest air hole. Now, this particular RDA, this is the Atomic, I have it set on the 2 biggest air holes. And you just pop that right down, make sure that hole corresponds right over top of your coil. Okay? And then all you do from there is you lung inhale. Instead of mouth to lung like most people hit a cigarette, you lung inhale. So it's just directly. You push the fire button and the vapor comes off of it and goes directly down into your lungs. And you do that for as long as you can, and you blow it out. So I'll do a quick demonstration and let you see what that looks like. Okay, so basically to sum this up, the lower the resistance, the hotter the vape, the faster the e-juice burns, the more flavor and all that kind of stuff you're going to get. So in order to get low resistance coils, you use less wraps. If you want a higher resistance coil, you do more wraps. That's why usually on 28 gauge Canthal on a 564 drill bit, you do say 8 to 11 wraps, you're going to get a coil somewhere between 1.5 and 1.9 or maybe 2 ohms, somewhere in that area. If you did the same thing with 28 gauge Canthal and you did like 4 or 5 wraps or something like that in that area, then the coil is going to be lower resistance because you have less wire. Less wire equals lower ohms, more wire equals higher ohms. That's why the coil I built for this RDA is a 1 ohm coil. That's pretty much about it, guys. All you got to do is when you're wrapping coils for sub-ohming, just wrap less wraps and you get a lower resistance. That's going to give you more heat, more vapor, bigger clouds. Let's go to a different angle and discuss it further. So there you have it, guys. Now you know what it takes to blow big clouds. Now all you got to do is get you an RDA. You can use something like this, but you can get something that has a lot of holes in it. The bigger the air hole, the better. You can do single coils, dual coils, quad coils. There's plenty of videos out there to show you how to do all that. But your main ingredient is a low resistance coil, 100% VG, high wattage, and long hits. And you're ready to rock and roll. Take care.